opposes this bill. I yield now 3 minutes to the distinguished Democratic whip, Mr. Hoyer.
The gentleman from Maryland is recognized for 3 minutes.
Gentlelady for yielding. I rise in opposition to this legislation, which I know does not surprise the chairman. I've been here for some time. I was here in the 90s. I was here in the 2000s. And frankly, we took the referee off the field in the 2000s. And we didn't put the referee as toughly on the field in the late 90s as we should have. Brooksley Born warned us about that, and we kept our eyes shut. And keeping our eyes shut cost millions and millions and millions of people their jobs, their homes, and their security. Let us not return to the time of taking the referee off the field. This bill does that. It is a dangerous piece of legislation. The bill which my Republican colleagues have put forward would put the American people at risk, once again, of having to bail out institutions if they lose money or risky investments. Let me say to my Republican friends, I share their view that community banks ought not to be treated as too big to fail banks. However, having said that, this bill takes the referee off the field one more time. It would effectively eliminate the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that is now the American people's watchdog. We spent a lot of time this year, in the last 5 months, passing bills under the Congressional Review Act have reduced consumer protections, civil rights protections, teacher protections, environmental protections. All we're doing is spending our time taking away protections for the American people and their futures. Have we learned nothing, Mr. Speaker? Those who fail to learn from history, it is often said, are doomed to repeat it. Let us not doom our citizens to repeat it. Let us not fail to learn the lessons of 2008. Let us not doom ourselves to repeating the mistakes of the past. The American people, average investors and retirees, along with those who use our markets to save for college and purchase a home, they deserve and now have common sense protections. Nobody is seeking to punish or limit what financial firms do well, and that's create and raise capital. But we must ensure that there are referees on the field to protect investors and taxpayers and citizens, and yes, our families and our children. This bill does the opposite. I urge my colleagues to reject it, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentlelady from California reserves. Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I yield myself 10 seconds just to say that perhaps